Hello, it's Sierra Conley and welcome back to Align. I honestly just feel like life makes sense again. Literally. Like, first of all, when y'all listen to this, do you get annoyed as much as I do about how many times I say like? I am trying to remove like out of my vocabulary, at least as much as I use it. It's kind of insane. And it's a bit much. But anyway, I am so not overwhelmed, but happy and excited and just feeling fulfilled by the amount of love that you guys gave the last pod episode. And honestly, I have been doing this since 2020, and this is the first time that I'm really putting like that extra oomph into it, that extra love. And I am so excited and so happy that I'm able to do this. I felt like for a while I wasn't sure if Align was my calling, even though I've always gotten so much support. I felt like there's sometimes where I just don't know what to talk about, or I didn't have this like overarching topic to discuss that I felt like was important. And over the years, I've come to just realize that sometimes I just need to talk. It doesn't have to be this insane um, topic or this very huge topic. Like I've talked about motherhood, I've talked about um, all these different things, dating, and sometimes I just have to sit down and just chat, and that's okay. And I felt like before that was boring. I would be in my head and saying to myself, well, nobody wants to listen to like you just chatting for real. But I realized that sometimes that's the best content that comes out. But also sometimes I just have to sit and talk. Life isn't always like all these crazy things happening. Sometimes it's chill vibes. And right now my life is chill vibes. I feel like with Align and Modern Atmosphere, things are moving and things are really coming together, and it just feels really good. And I just feel as though it's just coming together. Everything is coming together, and I absolutely adore coming on here and talking and honestly just getting out what's on my heart. Because last week I felt like the same as I do now. Well, I don't know what to talk about, and I ended up having a really great episode and getting out frustration that I didn't even know was there. I didn't know that it bothered me that so many people in my life would be like, oh, well, what do you do all day? And I knew it was bothering me subconsciously, but when I talked about it on the pod, I was like, wait, like, this is really bothering me. And I ended up talking to some of the people in my life about it. And I started to also share my world more, um, because, and I'll come out and say it, a lot of it was my parents. Or not a lot of it, but some of it was my parents. And I showed my dad, I'm like, this is what I do all day. And I showed him the pod episode, and he was like, well, what's your podcast called? And he made me realize that I actually don't share a lot of my world. And I think that came from shame slightly, because I'm not taking the traditional route of going to a 9 to 5 and going to work. So sometimes I do feel a little bit um, inadequate compared to my parents that get up and go to work every single day. And it makes me feel like, well, am I not doing enough? Is my job not a real job, even though it is? And although I don't make money off of this per se right now, that doesn't mean that I won't in the future. And that's kind of why I haven't poured my all into the podcast and poured my all into what I really want to do, because I felt like, well, no, I still have to go get a regular job, even though God was pulling me out of that situation every single time. And quite literally, it makes me sad to go to a 9 to 5 a lot of times, because that's not what my soul wants for me or from me. And so, yeah, I just feel like I can just come on here and talk to you guys because are my friends. Like, oh, not my stomach growling. Please, I need to eat lunch. Anyway, and yeah, and I feel like I, for years, didn't really pour into social media because I didn't want to be an influencer. I didn't want to be just a girl known on Instagram. I wanted to really show um, my substance. And I felt like, well, can I get that across with just posting like pictures and things like that? And now that socials have changed so much, it's nice because I can come to you and show the pod and be on YouTube and show my face. I can post my yoga videos and help other people in that way and really connect, um, which is exciting. And I feel like, yeah, for years I didn't pour into it because I was like, well, how do you make money? How do you do this? I just didn't know. And now at 27, I do know. And I know better and I understand the power in socials. And now I'm really putting my all into this and it feels really good. Like since 2020 and I started the pod, it's all like a line is so rewarding to me. It fills up my soul completely. I love when you guys are like, oh my God, that's exactly how I felt. Or people that have been watching the podcast in all its forms and Align in all its forms since 2020, like, shout out to you guys. You guys really hold it down. And if you've been here since then, it went from IGTV to just a podcast on Spotify to now we're on YouTube and Spotify. And it's really about the small wins. I am progressing, and sometimes I feel like, even though it doesn't, I feel like I'm not progressing, I really am. It's not always about like these big wins, although those are good. Sometimes about the small wins, and I've been having a lot of small wins recently and over the past like 2 years, and I'm just really proud of myself. And I'm proud of my friends. I was having a conversation with a friend from college yesterday, and we have seen each other grow so much, and we've been through some crazy things. Life has had hands, truly. Honestly, I need to manifest, and I'm currently manifesting a team for the pod because every single week I have some sort of technical difficulty. So, like, when you guys watch this on YouTube and even maybe here, it's just going to cut out because my camera card was full. Like, I need a team, honey. I need a team of people to be able to see if my flyaways are flywaying, to be behind the camera and look at that, make sure the lighting's good, the sound is good. This is hard as a one production team. I and that's something that I also had to talk to my parents about last week, going back to, sometimes feeling inadequate because I don't walk, I mean, like go to a 9 to 5 job. The amount of time it takes for me to produce the pod is actually it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of me, truthfully. Like, I have to set up the lights, I have to set up the camera, the backdrop, the everything, get myself ready, and then make sure everything's good. And then there's things like today, and actually this happened last week as well, like the camera just completely cut out because my card was full. Last week it just cut out for I don't even know what reason. And I'm manifesting a team to help me out with the podcast. I need help. I need help. And I may not be able to do this alone for much longer if I want to continue to grow, but for now, I'm good. However, I'm definitely manifesting a team. I need a team to help me out with the podcast because I always seem to have some sort of technical difficulty. I need help, period. But I don't remember my last thought before we were rudely interrupted and cut out. But yeah, I think I was just saying that life makes sense again and how much the pod just fills up my soul and how much modern does it for my soul as well. And I've really outgrown just doing things for money. That has been one of my biggest lessons, honestly, since I've had my son. I want time and I'm being awarded with time. It's not always about the most money, it's about time that I can't get back. And these years, especially with my son only being 2, are so precious. And like I said, you'll never get this time back. And I'm just really enjoying myself. I want to do what fills up my soul, what fills up my heart. I don't want to go to a job that doesn't fill me up. And I'm not against 9 to 5s. I'm just saying, for me personally, that wasn't filling up my soul and that wasn't filling up my spiritual bank. And I think that when I sit down and I turn these lights on and this camera on, there's just something in me that lights up when people can relate. Or I always say it, if I can just help one person, I've done my job. Because I feel like when I was going through my spiritual journey and just going through life and trying to align with my purpose and my passion, and I'm still doing that, I wish that I had somebody to look at and just hear to say, it's okay if you don't take the traditional path. I have been struggling all these years still knowing that my heart and my soul weren't in the traditional 9 to 5 and the traditional path of doing life. And I kept trying to make it fit because I didn't know how to just do the thing. I didn't know that if I just took 6 months of my time that the pod will blow up, and I'm manifesting that. 6 months, I'm blowing up, baby. And I wish that I had someone to just say, hey, it's okay, you got this. And I didn't have that. And so that's what Align is. It's just me talking about how Align has brought me alignment. Align is my passion and my purpose, but it also, each week, me coming on here, just being able to talk out how I'm feeling, honestly has brought me closer and closer to being in alignment with who I'm supposed to be and what my higher self looks like. And a lot of times I come on here and it's a little hectic and it's chaotic because life is hectic and chaotic. I feel like I always look very put together, but behind the lens and the camera and all these things, life is chaotic as fuck. Life is a lot, but I learned to handle the punches better because life, she got hands. She does. But throughout the years, I learned that you can't sit and sulk in those moments. Well, you can. You get, maybe I give myself a little bit of time, feel how you feel, and then let's go. And it's nice to have an Aries bestie sometimes because she'll be like, all right, bitch, let's get it going. Come on. We're not sitting here. Because I definitely am the type to be like, no, like, I'm so sad. This is too much. But she won't let me do it. And I love that. I love, that's my evil twin, period. But yeah, I love that. I love that you guys love this because I truly love this. And I think that it's now starting to reflect as I'm pouring more into it and pouring more of my time into it. And I'm just happy to be here. That's all. Just really happy to be here. And I am so excited that I am finally in a space where this feels good and I can see the fruits of my labor a little bit. And not because I'm getting some crazy recognition, but more because when I watched myself last week on the pod episode on YouTube, I was like, damn, like, I really love this. And I look really fucking cool. Like, I know that sounds a little vain, but it's true. Like, I'm like, this is so amazing. I want to do this with life. I want to have a huge podcast and I want to be able to talk and chat with different people all over the country or the world. I don't know what that looks like, but I want to just be able to talk about my journey and talk with others about their journey and just talk about life because this shit is hard sometimes. And feeling like you can relate to somebody and not in a trauma bond way, but relate to somebody and have someone say, yeah, life is really hard, but how are we going to keep it going? How do we keep moving? Because this doesn't stop. You can't stop. You got to keep going to get to where you want to be. And yeah, I just wish sometimes that I had a me for me. And so that's why Align is here. And so, yeah, I'm just, sometimes I could cry because I'm just so happy to be in purpose and allowing God to use me and help others, period. And so, yeah, this is probably a shorter episode this week, but I still feel like it was a goodie. Let me know what topics you guys want to talk about. Like I know a lot of people ask me about motherhood and things like that. But if there's anything else that you guys want me to talk about, I will put like a question box on the Instagram or whatever. But I will definitely ask you guys, and if you get this far and listen, definitely let me know. I want to also maybe do like a Q&A. I really want to start doing like a what would Sierra do and get some like questions in and answer those questions. I think that would be a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm just going with the vibe. So whatever you guys want to listen or, want to know or talk about or have me chat about, I'm here. And I love you all. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.